Exomologiste to Kyrio te agathos, alleluia.
Otis ton neona to eleos aftu, alleluia.
Wait. Hold on. So the reason why the Quran challenge does not work is because if there's something that's like the Quran or has Quranness that can exist, that therefore means the Quran challenge is defeated because it can exist.
Where is it if it can exist?
There's difference between something that exists and can exist. The argument poses that something like the Quran can exist. Now, wait. You haven't is this guy going to let me give the second option? I'm giving this guy a true dichotomy, and he's not letting me give the second position. So the Quran the Quran challenge poses two alternative opinions. That either something like the Quran can exist, therefore the Quran challenge is defeated because it teaches the exclusivity of what the Quran contains.
By the way, I'm not here to be recorded. I'm just here to
fantastic.
get other people's
Brilliant.
opinions.
And then the second option,
I don't consent to that.
and then the second option is that the second option would just be that nothing like the Quran can exist, and because the Quran exists, that obviously is a contradiction in itself. So you have two opinions which ultimately negate the challenge.
Okay, so this is, I'll give you a very short response, not a long one. If you were out to prove the Quran or Islam, you just meet the challenge. Once you've met it, you don't have to argue all of these.
The challenge is fallacious.
You keep saying that, but
I've proved it to you. Do you want to repeat what I just told you?
I
Do you have the virtue of listening?
2-hour conversation you've just had.
Oh, okay. I'll state again in two sentences.
Yeah.
Either something like the Quran can exist, in which case,
why it hasn't?
because there's something different between can and doesn't exist, and can and does exist.
To disprove the Quran, you can just produce it.
It's the difference between saying I can have a child and I have a child. Just because I have decided not to have a child, it doesn't mean that I can have a child.
Also, what are the parameters of likeness?
Yeah, of course. But I want to get to this because it's very important. Because not only is it an ambiguous statement, it's also a
By the
fallacious
way,
one.
there are many people right there that will give you much better answers than I.
Okay, and we'll go to them in a moment. But you understand there's a difference between saying something that can exist and doesn't exist, and saying something that can exist and does exist.
Okay.
I'm saying that if something like the Quran can exist, it defeats the challenge of exclusivity. If it can't exist, then the Quran can't exist.
There's a very basic example.
But speak to me, because it's a...
Okay, if me and you had an argument about strength,
Yeah.
and I said, I can definitely beat you in an arm wrestling competition, and then you say, prove it.
Yeah.
I'll just arm wrestle you.
But if I have a higher higher muscle and bone density, and it's
No,
obviously
but you
wait.
prove me wrong by just
Do you know what the
challenging me
Quran?
to the
Do you know what the
arm
Quran challenge is? The Quran challenge in your analogy is this, because
No, don't say my analogy. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you've
go
just
do
given
it
an
so you can
analogy.
just prove it.
my goodness, this guy's so rude.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to give you an analogy, which is analogous with what you've just said, and the dichotomy that I've just imposed onto you. Now let's say I'm really strong, ridiculously strong. I have high bone and muscle density, and you're a weakling. You're very skinny. You have no muscles on your bones. Now, if you come up to me and challenge me to an arm wrestle, and I don't accept the challenge, you can't therefore automatically assume you're stronger than me. In the same way that just because in your belief you believe that no one has tried to present something like the Quran, it therefore means that nothing like the Quran can exist.
Can I ask you the question?
Go on.
Why haven't anyone tried it?
It doesn't matter.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
Because wait. Let's not hold into that discussion because that's longer than what I'm trying to present to you.
Yeah.
So the problem that I have is it's irrelevant. I don't care what reason someone has or does not have to present something like the Quran. My argument, wait. My issue is that the Quran poses this.
I don't want to be.
Well, don't go to Speaker's Corner then and speak to me. How many times you've deferred this discussion to other people?
I told you 3 times at the start. I don't want to be recorded.
Then don't go to Speaker's Corner.
What do you mean? I don't want to be recorded on your channel.
Listen, you have CCTV footage all around the park.
I don't mind the
You have
CCTV.
cameras
I
here,
don't
there,
want
and
you to put me
everywhere.
online
If you've
and
gone
make
to Speaker's
money
Corner,
off it.
that's not my channel.
Then be in front of them.
Okay.
Because you're mic'd up, and I told you, go talk to the people who
Yeah.
have more knowledge than me.
Okay.
No, I get what you're saying. I said, go talk to the people who have more knowledge than me.
Yeah.
Don't try just to come up to me when I'm speaking to.
I go to everyone.
Go ahead.
Do you want to go to that man there when he's finished? And what do you think?
continue. We can respect that.
We can respect it, but you don't have to immediately demand that someone doesn't film you at Speaker's Corner.
No, I can, because what you're going to do is put it. Well, I'm not saying you or that, but a lot of these channels are monetized. You know that.
Could you say the same thing about the Muslim channels?
What do you mean?
That the Muslim channels intentionally...
Who told you I follow the Muslim channels?
Well, I'm asking you if you're consistent.
What do you mean consistent? Who told you I follow the Muslim
Well,
channels?
I'm asking you. That's why I've not I've not said it as a statement. I've said it as a question.
I guess like, if it was a Muslim camera, would you say the same thing?
Yes.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah,
There's a question on
By the way,
consistency.
first time here.
Yeah.
I don't even live here.
Yeah.
I've just come to experience this.
Yeah.
No, that's fair.
So you can't just put me into corners and bring.
Well, I would say there's like a social contract when you come to
this is
Speaker's Corner here,
Muslim debate,
folks.
Christian debate. I can't have a debate. I don't have enough knowledge. Go talk to the people with
I
knowledge.
Well, I've asked you a question, not a debate. In fact, you've imposed to me a challenge.
I
You've
didn't.
imposed
You
to me.
actually jumped in. I was
Wait.
speaking
You've
to
imposed
the guys I was
you've
speaking to.
imposed and
No, you
invoked the
jumped in.
Quran
I was
challenge.
speaking to 3 different guys.
You've given
and
you've given every single person on the
jumped
planet
into
the
a
challenge.
conversation that you weren't a part
Okay, I'm
of.
not going to debate about debating. That's irrelevant to me.
Yeah,
I can just pose to
but
the camera and speak about the
I wasn't
issue.
even talking to you. You started talking to me. The cameras got set up.
Yeah.
And you think somehow you're going to win like that.
Okay, my friend, I'd rather disengage about a debate about
Then
debating
disengage.
because I'm not going to waste my time, but I'm still going to speak to the
Disengage,
cameras.
Disengage. Go ahead. Disengage.
Okay.
Go talk to someone else.
Yeah, I'm going to stay here.
Disengage, man.
I'm going to stay here
Disengage.
and explain to the lovely cameras the issue with the dilemma.
Disengage.
So I can't speak at 2 lenses.
What's going on, Yambo? For context.
So this gentleman here, you know, he spoke about the basic articles of his belief, which is fine, right? You know, you said that we believe in Isa, Moses, that we believe in Muhammad and Allah, that sort of stuff. And then he said that the reason why he believes these things is because of the Quran. And then I tried to get him into like an argument of epistemic circularity, that he relies on things that rely on other things, that rely on the certain things that he used to say originally within the discussion. So then I said, well, look, you have to prove the Quran outside of the things that you've just mentioned because you rely on those things to the Quran. Then he used the Quran challenge, which for anyone who doesn't know is present something like the Quran. And if you can't, it shows that therefore the Quran is divine because only God could create something like that. And I give this challenge. If there's something like the Quran that can exist, it defeats the exclusivity clause within the Quran challenge. If there is something, if nothing can exist that is like the Quran can't exist because the Quran physically exists. So he didn't respond to those 2 things because both options would then subsequently render this argument in what it cashes out mute. But then he said, well, why has no one tried to present something like the Quran? That's irrelevant to me. I don't think there's an Islamic centre here in London where I could submit something like the Quran for the Muslim community. So it could just be an issue of, well, no Muslim, which I submit something like the Quran, would accept it because obviously they have a stern belief in their faith. So there is, like Islam and like the Muslims at the park, their religion falls flat on its ass. Aside from that, God bless you all. I hope we have a lovely Lent.
Well done, Yambo. Hey, Yambo, anything you want to share with the family?
Nothing much, you know. If you haven't done so already, please follow the Young Bob YouTube channel. I'm going to do daily shows, hopefully. I've been setting up somewhat of a studio setup, which is quite nice. I'll be also doing more stands on like abortion and my migration policy in Manchester on Wednesday, and hopefully tomorrow in London. Which would be really good, restarting that up at different universities and, you know, locations full of liberals. And, you know, we're consistent covering protests. It's just exhausting travelling around the country. But, yeah, that is me.
Well done, Yambo. Well done, Yambo.